Peace and blessings, African people. This is General Kenyatta. I know you haven't seen me in a while, but let me straighten this out a little bit. Listen, I'm really gonna, come off a little bit raw for a lot of people. But I feel like we're in such a dire situation that the truth needs to be stated as it is. Okay? So let me explain it like this. Why are we going through what we're going through around the globe? We're going to keep this real. Brothers, my African brothers, my black brothers, okay? You may not be too happy with what I'm about to say. But I'm going to break this stuff down for you. And I'm going to keep this as real can be. I want you to check out these facts. Fact 1. The African, aka black human being, has been on the earth about 3.5 million years. Now this is research that can be verified by DNA scientists, by one of our esteemed scholars, Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop in his work, Civilization and Barbarism, by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, by Dr. Yosef Ben Yekinin, and many more, okay? And DNA evidence also indicates that men, African men, arrived on the planet 50 to 80,000 years after a woman was here. Okay? I know that's a shock to a lot of people because we've been so conditioned with this bullshit ass religions whereby the creator is a male deity, Allah, Jehovah, Elohim. You know what I'm saying? But the facts dictate that long before the concept of a god existed, that the goddess or Netert existed. Because, see, I can use comedic terms or I can use terminology that you understand. So I'm going to use terminology that you understand. Okay? So, women have been on the planet for 50 to 80,000 years before a man got here. Which is why she has an extra layer of skin, which is why she's more emotionally developed, which is why she's able to use the left and right hemispheres of her brain, which we don't do as men. Because we're basically left-brained. So therefore she becomes and is more holistic in her life approach. Okay? Now for those of us who want to go back into comedic history and everything else, well, that's good and great because, see, I'm going to bust some stuff down to you. I'm about to release my new book, Pulling No Punches, The Religious Factor. Okay? And in my book, I'm breaking down everything from the past down to the present so that we can come up out these traps. All the resources of the scholars and everything else are in the back of my book for anybody that wants to research it. So let me break this down for you. Pharaoh, comedically, got nothing to do with a man. Pharaoh means the great house. It did not apply to a male ruler, okay? It meant the great house. And the great house was the status of the African woman. Because in Kemet, no Nisubiti, which is what the male ruler in comedic terms is called, could ascend to the throne unless he came through an African woman. Because in the works of, again, Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop, Gerald Massey, Ivan Van Sertima, John G. Jackson. It doesn't make a difference where you go. African women were born royal, and men were not. Now, this means that for 3-point-something million years, women been running the planet. And men, as we know men to be, only came in power a few thousand years ago. And from that a few thousand years ago, the earth has been going through sheer hell due to our imbalanced nature. Now let me straighten this out for you. When you start going into the works of George G.M. James' Stolen Legacy, and you begin doing your research into ancient Kemet, you begin to find out that we had something called, that Europeans called, a mystery system. It was only a mystery to outsiders, not to us inside the continent. And the president of the mystery system was an African woman, which means that it was women who developed the mystery system. And why did they develop this mystery system? They developed the mystery system in order to bring the African man in harmony with them. Now, our book explores this a lot further and a lot deeper and lets you know actually how we came into being and the whole nine. Okay? And what went on. But one of the points, one reason why I'm making this video is because, really, I'm tired of the bullshit. You know, and the bullshit is always with fucking religion. I wouldn't give a damn if you a damn Muslim, a fucking Christian, a Buddhist, a Hindu, a Jew, a Hebrew. I wouldn't give a fuck what you is. That shit that you practicing is the greatest division of African people on the goddamn planet today. And we don't control none of it. None of it. There's no last names in the damn Bible. Why? Because man wrote that damn book and took out the names in order to disguise the fact that prior to the birth of Prophet Muhammad, everybody was named after the mother, not the father. That's why there's no last names in the Bible. My book breaks all that stuff down too. So therefore, because men were writing the history books and the religious books, he basically took the African woman out of power and raised himself above her. And we've been suffering from that shit ever since, down to the day. So before Prophet Muhammad, nobody on the planet was named after the father. Not in African civilizations. You were always named after the mother. Because the lineage was kept through her, not the damn man. Back then, men didn't go to work for 8 hours and then come back home like we do today. A man might leave and go out and be gone for months. And only the mother knew who the father was. So it made common sense, okay, for the lineage to be kept through her and not the man. We got to break out of this European, Arab, Jewish, Hebrew bullshit. Because none of them motherfuckers existed back then. Abraham comes on the scene, for the people who are religiously inclined, 1700 BC. From Abraham, for those who believe in that bullshit, comes the Arab, comes the fucking Hebrew, comes the goddamn Jew. So, in other words, that's like saying that we waited for the Arab, the Hebrew, and the Jew to come on the scene before we knew anything about fucking God. Before we knew anything about divinity. Even though we've been here for 3.5 million years, that's like telling me that we was running around like goddamn savages waiting for somebody else to come and tell us or teach us about God, about divinity. That's a bunch of bullshit. And now we're suffering from it today. divided up. Okay? And we got to end this shit. This is part one. Because really, I'm pissed off about this shit. Because we don't have no unity. Our households is in disarray. Our children is running fucking amok with European values and goddamn TV, media, music, and every fucking thing else that these outside fucking invaders done gave us to take our goddamn minds away from us. Okay? While they continually conquer and keep us oppressed, repressed, and suppressed from our own damn reality. While we sit back like fucking beggars, waiting for somebody else to do for us what we could do for our goddamn self. This is the end of part one. Fuck this.